Hey, what's up everybody? How's it going? Phantaram here. Today's video is going to be about my initial thoughts on Weaver and why it synergizes so well with Sword. I'm going to go over the Sword skills, the attune mechanic, utilities, and traits. So pretty much everything there is to know about Weaver right now. Um, so explaining the attune mechanic. So with Weaver, attuning is a little bit different. Like in regular Ellie, when I would swap out of air, it would be like 9 seconds before I could ever go back to air. But with Weaver, every time you swap attunements, you can swap to another attunement in 3 seconds, even the attunement that you're already in, and I'll explain why. So you can like double attune to water, or even just keep attuning to water if you want for the trait stuff or whatever. Like if you have good water traits, every time you attune to water, you heal and remove a Condi. You can just keep attuning to water as much as you want every 3 seconds. But you probably don't want to do that because I'll explain the attune mechanics. So let's say we're in water and we swap to fire. What happens here is our number 1 and 2 skills become fire skills. Our number 3 skill becomes the water and fire dual strike, twin strike. And our number 5 skills become offhand water. So from there, let's say we attune to fire again. Our dual strike skill gets replaced with cauterizing strike, and our offhand skills that were water get replaced with the fire offhand skills. So now we're fully attuned to fire. And then let's say from there we attune to air. So fire and air. Our main hand skills become air because that's the one we just attuned to. Our number 3 skill becomes the fire and air dual attack, pyro vortex, and our offhand skills remain fire. So that's all the stuff I can think of about how the attuning works. Hopefully you can wrap your head around that real quick because we're going to move on to why I think Sword synergizes so well with the way this attune mechanic works. So there's two main things that make this synergize well, and that one, the number 3 skill, that when you double attune to say fire or water, the number 3 skill, if the trend continues, is a very powerful skill. So with Sword, it's cauterizing strike, which it doesn't show the damage numbers here, but it's basically fire grab with a burn on it. So very strong damage. And then for water, which is, we don't know the number 3 skills for air and earth, but I think the trend is probably going to continue since the number 3 for sword and water are so strong. This one gives you regen, it heals you a ton, and it does decent damage. So you're going to remove a Condi because almost surely we're going to be using the water trait line, and we're going to heal a ton. So when you double attune, it gets rid of your dual strike and it unlocks your 3 skill. So that's one incentive to double attune with a sword, compared to like say if you're dagger. If you double attune in water, you're going to be stuck in water for 6 seconds. You're going to be throwing these useless yo-yos, and guess what? You're going to unlock on number 3. You're going to unlock this wimpy little ice explosion. It's an okay ability, but it's nothing compared to Aqua Siphon. And number 2, auto attacks in Sword are the best ones of like any weapon. They're just melee, of course. But if you're stuck in water attunement for 6 seconds because you want to double attune and heal a lot and remove Condis, you have a ton of good abilities to use in Sword. You can be auto attacking the whole time, which heals you. All these auto attacks heal you. Aqua Siphon, obviously you unlock that and you do a ton of healing and decent damage. And then you have Riptide at the end of your water attunement. You can use this, evade for 1 3/4 second, heal, remove another Condi with this regen. Okay damage. Actually, that's pretty good damage. This ability is insane. And it creates a water field for 4 seconds. And guess what? All your other attunements, your number 2s are either leap finishers or blast finishers. Your number 2 in fire is a leap finisher. Your number 2 in air is a leap finisher. Your number 2 in earth is a blast finisher that also evades for another second. So you can evade for 1/4 second, swap to earth, evade another second, blast finisher, your water field that heals you. It's just crazy defense right there, that kind of rotation. Double attune water, attune to earth, keep evading, get protection, blast finisher healing. Yeah, that's huge. So yeah, like if you happen to be running fresh air and you double attune to air, your auto attack's going to be extremely strong. You're going to have super speed almost that whole time. I really want to see what the number 3 for air is that you can unlock, but depending on which attunement you swap from, you're either going to get Pyro Vortex or Shearing Edge. Shearing Edge is a really awesome one. You throw a blade, so a ranged Chill is really nice. It probably does decent damage. We just can't see the damage yet. Gale Strike. Oh, yeah, this is the CC that I'm super interested in seeing because it floats people apparently. So like they go up in the air. So we'll we'll figure that out when we can see it. One of the dual strikes I'm most interested in is Lava Skin. You initially get a 1000 barrier, it pulses damage and burning around you, and it pulses extra barrier. After that too, 5 pulses. This is crazy amounts of barrier. That's 5, it's almost like 2500 barrier. So that's crazy good. I'm just loving Sword, and I really like how it synergizes with the way the attune mechanic works. Like, you can think about other weapons. Like, if you wanted to double attune to water on any other weapon set, it would be way worse. Yeah. So I just think the double attuning in water with Sword is just so strong with this Riptide ability and Aqua Siphon and auto attacks being extra healing. Like, you're gonna full heal when you double attune to water and you're able to hit your abilities. So yeah. And then think about double attuning in fire. Like, and on dagger, you're gonna use your dual strike skill and you're gonna want to attune to fire again so you can use burning speed, but you're gonna be stuck with that wimpy auto attack that you can't do damage with unless they're very close. And even if they are very close, if they sidestep you a little bit, you don't hit them. But this auto attack's really strong. So every auto attack is just really strong, and it makes sitting in an attunement for 6 seconds actually worth it. So yeah, let's move on to stances. I was confused by these for a while, and I didn't quite understand them, but let's get to it. So this cooldown right here and this count recharge thing really confused me, but I'll explain it to you guys. So how it works is you have two charges of this ability, and it pulses 5 times for a lot of barrier. I don't know how much barrier because I've seen different tooltips everywhere, but if it's 650, that's an insane amount of barrier. It's like, yeah, it's really good barrier. Anyways, so how it works is when you use your first charge, it goes on a 5-second cooldown until you can use your next charge. But that first charge that you used, whoops, will take 50 seconds to recharge. So some people are like, it's kind of like a mantra, but it's not really, because as soon as you use the first charge, this starts to recharge. With a mantra, you don't get to recharge your charges until all the charges are gone. But in this case, you use your first charge, and that one is on a 50-second cooldown, and it starts recharging, regardless of the fact that you haven't used your second charge. So let's say you use your first charge, and then 30 seconds later you use your second charge. Your first charge only has 20 seconds left to recharge. So that's really nice. I love the way these utilities work. So Stone Resonance is a really good one, just because it gives you a crazy amount of barrier. And it's also going to give you stability. It's on a longer cooldown because that amount of barrier is really good. Primordial Stance seems decent. It's offensive, which is not usually what you want to get on Ellie. Ellie is so vulnerable to dying in PvP, so you usually want to just take all the defense you can get, but this will have a low cooldown, so it'll be a good source of stability. And it does, you could, as long as you use it in water and you're able to chill your opponent, that's pretty darn good. Maybe if you were double attuned to water and use it and you put a ton of chill on somebody, that'd be pretty good too. But there's a lot of Condy removal in this game, so the duration probably wouldn't matter. It'd probably be better to put multiple Condys, like burning and chill, or bleed and chill, or whatever. So that's decent. Probably not one I'm going to use. I expect I'm going to use Stone Resonance, Twist of Fate, and a Lightning Flash. Twist of Fate is by far the best one. If we happen to be using the trait that makes Super Speed remove Condys, we're going to get a Stun Break, a 1-second evade, and Condy removal on a 40-second cooldown. That's so good. I'm so glad that ArenaNet is giving Ellie a lot of evade. I feel like it's something we need because we're one of the squishiest classes. We can't just tank and heal through everything. We need some kind of mitigation. Unravel is kind of interesting. Again, it's 25-second recharge, so you can get stability on a low cooldown, but for a period of time, you forgo your Weaver training, choosing to fully attune to elements instead. So the good thing about this is, say you're using a focus offhand, and you want to use focus number 5 on Earth, typically you're going to have to attune twice to get that. So 6 seconds of waiting, or 3 seconds if you're already in Earth. But with Unravel, you can use it and then swap to Earth, and boom, you'll have your number 5 in focus, and you'll go invincible. I tend to think that's probably not worth the utility slot, but if for some reason we don't need to take Lightning Flash, I think either of these utilities is viable there. So we'll see. We'll see. And then Weave Self, you guys may have seen this in a few videos, but you use it, and every time you attune to a different attunement, you get a really powerful buff. And then you can use, I guess it's called Tailored Victory. Float, some kind of new CC. I assume that's the one where it makes them float up into the air. Does damage. Unblockable. Wow, so powerful. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, I'm pretty sure once you use, maybe Perfect Weaves means once you get all of these, then they last for 10 seconds. And you get all of those for 10 seconds, I guess. I'm not exactly sure how it works, but that once you attune to all 4 attunements, you can use this ability, and this ability is insane. A 2.5-second CC that's unblockable. That's nuts. That is nuts. So moving on to traits. This one basically, you gain access to dual attacks and stance utilities, and the normal stuff that you get for just being a Weaver. And so here in the major adepts, this is one of the ones that I think all of them will be viable, depending. I don't know. It's harder for me to tell which one I want to use. Dual attacks weaken enemies and deal increased damage to weakened foes. This is pretty good. I would be more inclined to get it if I knew that we applied a lot of conditions. Maybe we will, and that way this will stick better. And then this one is just really good. Elemental Pursuit. Gain super speed when inflicting inhibiting conditions on enemies. So mostly we're probably going to be doing chill and cripple. I'm not sure if there's very many immobilizes for a sword, if any at all. And you get 2.5 seconds of super speed, which again, if you're using this trait, Unravel Hexes, lose conditions at a rapid rate while under the effects of super speed. This will be nuts. Apparently it's on a 10-second ICD. That's a ton of super speed. And then there's Master's Fortitude, which gain increased vitality when wielding a sword, and gain bonus vitality based on the portion of your power and condition damage. So it's gonna, I put it on with Sage's Amulet, which will be about 280 vitality, so that's best case scenario. So, I mean, if for some reason you're not using the super speeds trait and this turns out not to be the greatest, then you can probably just take some extra vitality, and Elementalist is in need of vitality, so that's really good. Next up, just when you use a dual attack, you get Barrier. Super nice. So Major Master, I'm pretty sure these are just not going to be used. These two right here. And this one is 100% going to be used. So I'll just read these off so you know. This one is like a PvE trait, gain condition damage and duration for a period of time after attuning to a different element. Yeah, it's offensive, and we need defense because we're elementalists. Major Master gains swiftness when using a dual attack, deal extra damage to enemies while under the effects of swiftness, so this is just more damage. Again, we need defense. This is not only just defense, but it is also utility in the form of more stability. We're going to have a lot of stability, especially if we end up using 3 stances here. I mean, this is a stance. If we end up using the heal as a stance, we're going to have a ton of stability. Our greatest enemy is going to be boon corruption and stuff, which there might be a lot of in this expansion, as well as already existing stuff like thieves and necros. So this one is gain stability when activating a stance, and then activate lesser stone resonance when struck while below the threshold, which I think is a 70-second ICD. Yes, it is, but this is stone resonance utility that gives you a bunch of barrier. So it's a 70-second ICD and procs at half health, I believe. Yes. So just more passive barrier. We're going to have a lot of barrier. Barrier on dual attacks, barrier with this, and potentially barrier with one of the Grandmasters. So the minor Grandmaster is gain attributes based on your current attunement. When dual attuned, gained both benefits. So fire is power, water healing, air attunement precision, earth attunement toughness. So this is really cool because I like that when you are attuned to water, you get healing power. So that encourages you to use your other healing when you attune to water. And you can swap to water every 3 seconds if you like, so you can always get that healing power. That's really nice. Yeah, I really like this one. If you attune to air and fire, you get precision and power, so you can do a lot of damage. If you attune to earth and water, you get healing and toughness, so that's kind of like tanking. It's a really cool trait. I like it, and it's powerful. So Grandmasters. Again, this one is actually really strong, but it's just damage. Gain a damage bonus for a period of time when attuned to a single element. Gain ferocity based on a percentage of your power. So just damage. Unravel hexes. These two are both so good, and I really don't know which one I'm going to use yet. I have to play the game and experience it. But unravel hexes is extremely insane. Let's just read it through here. Lose conditions at a rapid rate while under the effects of super speed. And it is every half second. So this Twist of Fate utility is 1.5 seconds super speed. That's 3 Condi removal, 1 evade, stun break on a 40-second cooldown with 2 charges. That utility is insane if we take Unravel Hexes. So when you are inflicted with immobilized, crippled, or chilled, we get super speed for 3 seconds on a 15-second ICD. So and that's 6 Condi removal. So just between this ability, this super speed right here, and Twist of Fate, that's already a lot of super speed. But if we take Fresh Air, it's like permanent super speed, man. We're going to be just super speeding everywhere if we take Fresh Air. We'll see. And then Invigorating Strikes, gain vigor when using a dual attack, really good. Dodge rolling grants barrier, really good. So if for some reason we have enough condition removal from other trait lines already, we'll skip Unravel Hexes, we'll take Invigorating Strikes, we'll take either Master Fortitudes or Superior Elements. So there's kind of like 2 build paths here. There's the super speed condition removal path, and there's the other path with Invigorating Strikes. But in the Master tier, we're always taking this. It's just we change up the Adept or the Grandmaster tier based on which utilities we take. Or not which utilities, what build we want to go. Either super speed or non-super speed build. And man, it's hard. It's a hard choice. They've given us a hard choice here. We're going to have to experiment in game to figure it out, but this lose condition sounds so strong. I think I'm leaning towards the lose conditions super speed route. It's not like the super speed is bad if you don't take Unravel Hexes, so you might even still take this super speed here, even with the vigor and barrier trait. Let's see what this says. 857 barrier, that's pretty darn good, and 3 seconds of vigor is pretty good too. So yeah, we'll just have to see. I'm super interested and really excited to try it out. Like I said in the last video, on the 18th through the 20th, we'll be able to try out these classes, and I'll be streaming and making. What I'll probably do is I'll stream all weekend and just keep playing, and then after the weekend's over, I'll make videos about it, and I'll give my opinions on stuff. Like I'm giving my initial impression here, and then I'll give you my opinions based on what my experience tells me after that. So that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. It's a bit of a long video, but there's a lot to talk about with Weaver, so I hope you enjoy it, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.